We're back.
Back again. Here we are. Hello, everyone. Hi, Zach.
Hello, Nick.
How are you feeling today?
A little the same.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, I have a sinus infection and it's been pretty unbearable.
Yeah.
But I will endure. I promise. We're at 11 already on this season. It's crazy.
Yeah. Those weeks fly by so rapidly, but I hope you feel better soon. It's been a fairly eventful week, to say the least.
Definitely.
Having launched one of our biggest projects to date, actually soft launched. We haven't even really properly launched it yet, and we're excited about that. So lots to talk about there. And yeah, how's the weather there? Getting better?
Well, that's what got me sick. Every year, like when we get that fluctuation in temperature where it goes warm, cold, I always get sick. So it's that time of the year for me. So I'll be fine soon. And
yeah, I think I need to get you on a steady chai diet. That'll be good.
Send me your chai.
All right, I'll do that. I'll do that.
I like chai tea.
Yeah, don't call it chai tea. No.
Sorry. Chai. Sacrilegious.
That's TT. Yeah, you don't want that. Yeah.
Anyways.
All right. So I did respond to people saying that my camera angle was not awesome and I looked kind of small. So now I'm big and filling up the frame. Hopefully it's better.
He's 6'5". I don't know how you can make it any bigger.
Yes. No, this is good. I like it.
40.
Yeah. All right. Well, super excited to get going. Should we go?
Let's do it.
All righty. Let's get this screen going here. Add to the stage. All right, everyone. Welcome. It is time for yet another Vitruveo download. This is season 2, episode 11. It's March 15, 2024. I'm Nick Caggiano, founder, and I'm very excited to talk to you about all the developments in the past week that happened with Vitruveo and things that are coming up, and then answer questions from the community. So let's start our session today with talking about the biggest project that we've launched today, which is our airdrop. So this is really, really exciting. Last week, I kind of talked to you a little bit about it, and then we sort of soft launched it. But it's been going really, really well. We are quite happy with it. What we wanted to do was in the initial days, just make sure that we ironed out any of the kinks that were there in the software, that it was able to scale properly. And yeah, we've had some issues and some bugs, and our team has been very responsive to quickly fix those. And it's going quite well. And over the course of the next few weeks, we'll be continuing to monitor and tell you about all the updates. We are getting lots and lots of new users into our ecosystem, and we welcome them all. So welcome. You are here in a wonderful community and a wonderful ecosystem. We are Vitruveo, the blockchain for creators, and we welcome all the newcomers. So in this weekly update, I try and give lots of information about everything that's happened and keep everyone in the community up to date, and especially highlight the things that are really important for you to know about. And so during the course of the next few downloads, I'll be providing more details about the airdrop, especially around statistics and analytics and things like that. So super excited to have all of you here. All right, so now let's move on to our next topic for today, and that is our booster roundup. So last week I announced that we had wrapped up our boosters, and had announced also that for users who would be making OTC purchases of $500 and up, that for every $500 we would airdrop up to 84 total boosters. So what we were doing there is we were rounding up from 10,116, which is the number of boosters sold in our booster campaign, to 10,200. I'm pleased to report that we've had a significant number of purchases, and what we decided is we were very close to that 84 number. So we went back in time a little bit and just made sure that every one of those boosters was accounted for. So 84 OTC buyers of $500 and above are going to have boosters airdrop to them. So that's going to happen today and over the next couple of days. So that is a good roundup for our booster campaign, 10,200 even. And now we are beginning the next part of it, which is to start actually boosting. I had hoped to report today that that was fully done and ready at the time of this download, but we still need a little more time on that. So more than likely, it's going to be approximately tomorrow before you can start boosting. We just want to make sure that that application works really well because there's a lot riding on it, and there's a fairly complex addition to VTRU Scope. So apologize for the delay, but it will be available during the weekend. So thank you so much for that. All right, moving on to our next topic, which is core NFT airdrops. So as you know, we have various classes of core NFTs. A core NFT is an NFT that has information about a person's VTRU allocation, their vesting schedule, how much they've been granted, what the schedule is, how much is locked, how much is unlocked, how much of the rebases have been claimed, how much is pending, etc. So we have various classes of them. And right now, I'm pleased to report that we have completed the airdrops for 2 classes. So our first class is Nexus, which is our biggest community core NFT holding. So that was done a few weeks ago. And as of yesterday, we now welcome the artist community because we also did a Dreamer NFT airdrop. So a lot of artists now are in the DAO and have an NFT that can be used for voting. So super excited to welcome them. Now, in the coming days, we are also going to do more airdrops for benefactors who are larger investors and also validators. I know a lot of you are anxious about getting your validator NFTs in there. So we'll expedite that as quickly as possible. The primary reason for the delay, as I expressed last week, is there's still a few movements going on there in terms of transferring validator ownership. And we wanted to make sure that that was all done and stitched up before we did the airdrop. So, but I believe that is almost done now. And so we can proceed with the validator airdrop, which should be very, very fast because there's less than 500 of them. So that's only a few minutes to do the actual airdrop. But we wanted to make sure that the data is accurate. All right, moving right along. Let's go on to our next topic, which is a financial update. So every week I try and give you an update on where we are with spending. So this prior week, you saw a multi-sig transaction of $10,000, and that was in support of our airdrop. So we were on mostly free or starter tiers of most of our cloud services that support our applications. And for this airdrop, in anticipation of the volume, and boy, were we right about that, we upgraded all our cloud services. That includes things like Alchemy, Infura, GitHub, MongoDB database, etc. So all of them have been upgraded to support the level of transaction volume that we are starting to see and expect to see more of. In the next couple days, probably even late today, possibly, you're going to see some additional airdrop-related development costs coming from the multi-sig. In order to get this airdrop application built, the team in Brazil worked a record number of hours. They worked a lot of overtime hours to the point of exhaustion, a lot of them. And so now we have to pay their bill. And so we'll be doing that. In addition, there's some other costs related to the airdrop. Specifically, as you may have noted, gas on Ethereum is extremely high right now. And what we wanted to do was give people more options to pay. And so we'll be adding Solana as a payment option also. So we have a dev team working on that integration. So you'll be able to use a Phantom wallet and funds on Solana to also acquire VTRU. So that is coming up and it will be enabled here as quickly as within the next week. All right, moving right along to our update on VTRU Suite, which is our flagship suite of products. So let's talk about those. So there are 4 products in the VTRU Suite. There's Studio, Search, store, and stream. So Studio is the main application used by artists to consign their artwork to the blockchain. Unlike other blockchains, you don't go to a marketplace and mint your work. We don't have that concept at all. Instead, all artists use Studio to add their work to the blockchain. We call that process consignment. And then any marketplace on our platform, whoever wants to come and build a marketplace, we'll have our own, and others will also just pull from that pool of resources. So there are no marketplace specific silos of artworks. So Studio is the application we've been working on for quite a bit now. We've been through several rounds of testing with artists. The feedback has been excellent. We've refined it, and now it's ready for use. The next app is Search. So because our platform has all these artworks across the blockchain, it's important for us to have a search that is comprehensive and very granular, and I'll talk about that in just a moment. That app is also coming to a close. We are wrapping that up. In addition, we have Store and Stream. So Store is the primary marketplace, and Stream is our solution to enable artworks to be curated into playlists like on Spotify and streamed to devices. All right, so let's look at Studio. So the main update on that is we feel confident about the functionality. We feel confident about the features, and so as of today, all 1,000 Genesis artists have been approved for use of wVTRU Studio. Now, of course, a lot of them are going to have questions about what to do, how to do it, and Fer has put together a really great website. This will become our primary Dreamers information website, where we talk about how to use how to use the Studio in great detail. There's an FAQ. There's updates that will be posted here. So this is going to be sort of the go-to site for creators as they use that website. In addition, we recognize that many artists have a hard time using collaboration sites, social sites like Discord, etc. So we have a web-based community site that we've created. So this is a social site for our Dreamer community. And so this is up, and they are already using it now. And you can see that they have posted artworks and things like that. So there's groups, everything that you would kind of expect in a social website is over here. So ArtShare is the feed I was looking at there. But this is where creators can go and collaborate about all the things that are happening on Vitruveo. All right. So as I said, wVTRU Studio is ready for everyone, and I'm really excited about it because we've added a few features in the past few days alone that are really meaningful. For example, as you're consigning your artwork and going through it, we have a preview of your asset you've uploaded, so it's fresh in your mind. It's right there as you're updating the metadata. So yesterday, Fer and I did a stream where we went into great detail about the entire Studio workflow, and it was amazing. And we had over 700 people on our live stream, so that was great. And the recording is on the Dreamer website right now. So Studio is ready. We are excited. We'll do the Genesis artists onboarding, and then immediately we'll start onboarding folks on the wait list, and then we'll make it open for everybody to come on board. So what that means is in the next 30 to 45 days, we'll be having as many as 3,000 artists getting on board to Vitruveo. Now, timing-wise, we have a couple weeks to get the search part of this done and the consignment part done to the blockchain. We are still working on that. Right now, it is still off-chain, and in the next 2 weeks, it will be on-chain. That's because NFT NYC, one of the primary events for the art community, is coming up in the first week of April, and we want to be ready for that. So more about that in just a moment. But yeah, wVTRU Studio is ready for prime time, and we are really excited about that. All right, so when it comes to the next step, wVTRU Search, last week I kind of showed you what we are building, and I just wanted to review that really quickly again, just as a reminder. So basically, VTRU Search is going to be a faceted search engine. So on the left will be facets, meaning the different types of metadata categories we have. That could be, taxonomy, it could be medium, it could be style, it could be subject, and so on. So you get to select from checkboxes and filter your search results. And on the right, we have tiled search results that appear. And it's almost like a shopping cart where you can select the results that you like and put them into an art box, as we are calling. And then you can publish that art box to the web as a PDF, as a video, as a photo gallery, as an RSS feed, and a number of different options. So we'll keep adding more and more options as we go. So what we'll do is, what we'll have is something that ends up looking sort of like this, but probably a little more structured, because we have preview images that are square and will appear uniformly. So that's VTRU Search coming up soon. Now let's talk about credits. So credits are something that is going to be really important to the creator ecosystem for us in two ways. So we have two kinds of credits. We have collector credits and we have creator credits. So a collector credit is essentially an NFT that has a value of US $10. And we'll be distributing 116,000 of these to the booster buyers, because each one of them gets $150 worth of these collector credits. They can then use these on the VTRU store once it's up to collect any of the artworks from the Genesis artists and also the artists on the waitlist, etc. So this ensures that the booster holders are able to collect art without any transactional inconvenience, etc. We'll just look in their wallet, and we will essentially look for collector credits and burn any of those and let them acquire the artwork. Now, the thing with collector credits, it's not limited to booster owners. Our plan is that over time, we will incentivize big art collectors to come on Vitruveo and also collect art by granting them some collector credits to match their spending, and therefore getting the flywheel of art sales accelerating on our platform. Creator credit. So this is something that I've not talked about at a DAOnload before, but I just want to mention it. So one of the things we are extremely committed to is making sure that Vitruveo, from an art standpoint, has high quality art. We do not want it to be sort of this place where anyone who copies an artwork, a scammer or someone, or who has extremely low quality art that they just copied from somewhere, upload it. So we want to make sure that Vitruveo is the domain for authentic artists, where they can highlight and show their amazing craft. But we don't want to put gates. We don't want to build walls. We want to keep it open. And so creator credit is our unique and flexible system to make it easy for creators to list their artworks, but yet keep sort of scammers and others away. The way it works is every creator will go through a KYC process. And when they do that, they can choose which level of KYC they want to go through. The first level is as basic as email. Then you can do mobile number and on and on. And at higher levels, you get more creator credits. And at lower levels, you get fewer creator credits. So that just gets you started. That's for your first artwork or so. But when you want to list more, what we're going to do is look at your reputation and look at what you've done, and then assign you those creator credits. We do not want a creator credit to be an impediment to an artist's journey on Vitruveo. What we want to do is just be a little mindful and make sure that the people who are consigning artworks on Vitruveo are authentic artists. So we'll have a request page where it's as simple as, hey, I'm an artist, here's my work, I need to upload and consign 5 artworks, so I need 5 creator credits. Someone will look at that and say, okay, here you go, here are 5 creator credits. It's as simple as that. Very quick and easy and painless process. We will also make creator credits available to art communities, to community leaders, etc. So artists can have multiple places where they can go to get these creator credits. You need 1 creator credit to consign an artwork and make it active onto the blockchain. So when you're in studio, you can take all the time you want. to work with your artwork, to get the metadata all perfect, etc. But there's a time where you have to essentially activate it on the blockchain, and that's where we're going to check your wallet to see if you have a creator credit. And only if you have one will you be able to actually consign your work to the blockchain, and where it immediately becomes available in all search, all marketplaces, all feeds, etc. Now your work becomes a candidate for every possible sales channel that we will have available, and marketing channel too. So those are credits. All right, moving on, but first a sip of chai. All right, now let's talk a little bit about events. As I mentioned, NFT NYC is coming up, and we are going to have a strong presence there. It's myself and Fer. Fer has been selected as a speaker, so she will be speaking. Now at NFT NYC, they frown upon brand-specific talks, so her talk is going to be general, but she is going to be able to mention Vitruveo and probably issue a poet. So that would be really good. We see this as a really important event to highlight to the artist community about Vitruveo and its creator focus. And so we are collaborating with other Web3 projects to have 3 community events. And also I've organized a chai meetup for whoever wants to hang out with me and have a chai there in New York City. So that's coming up the first week of April. And we are really excited about these community events because it's an opportunity for us to really introduce lots and lots of artists to Vitruveo and see what we've done that's new, unique, different, and exciting. All right. In addition to that, we are planning an exhibition event with the Oshi Gallery in Melbourne. If you recollect, when I came back from Melbourne, I mentioned that I had a really great meeting with the founders of that gallery. It's a really exciting location. They really know their stuff, and they understand artists really well. In fact, we are completely aligned in our vision for how to approach Web3 and art. And so we'll be planning an exhibition event with them. That's in the works. At this point, we're discussing dates and costs and things like that. So once that's finalized, be able to share more details. All right, let's talk a little bit about total value locked. So TVL, as it's known, is an important metric for blockchain protocols about the health of their ecosystem. And we didn't track this very closely before, but now that we've got the core vest and we've got staking solutions in place, it is time for us to get more serious about this and track this, and we are indeed doing that. So there are 2 primary ways in which allocated VTRU coins are locked. So the keywords here, allocated, are important. So there are coins in the treasury, we don't count those, but these are coins that are allocated to users. And so the 2 ways are, one, by vesting lock in the core vest contract. So anytime anyone is issued a core NFT, they may or may not have coins associated with that, and those coins are going to be vested. The basic premise is that if you're going to get coins directly that are unlocked, you don't need a core NFT for it. But if they are vested, you are going to have a core NFT, because that's how you track and manage your coins, and you claim them. So the first is core vest, and the next one is our new staking contract that was just unleashed as part of our airdrop. And so there, users are able to buy coins using the swap, and then immediately lock them with a variable APR, which gives them a reward over time. So that starts with 60 days and goes all the way to 180 days of locking. Now, I've heard this question multiple times, so I'll answer it now. You can go to the airdrop page, and you can go to the stake tab there, and you can stake VTRU anytime, as much as you want. It is not an aggregate stake. Each time you stake, the amount you stake and the period you stake becomes a unique stake, and it is for whatever period you choose. So if I go today and stake 100 coins for 180 days, that's one stake. So the stake begins when I stake it, and it ends when approximately 180 epochs or days are completed. Now, if I go 3 days later and stake another 200 coins for 60 days, so that's a completely different stake. It is unrelated to my first one. There is essentially an unstake function, and you can only call that function when the stake period is done. Until then, your coins will be locked. So our goal is to eventually add this feature of tracking your stakes right into VTRU scope. So you'll be able to see it, all your stakes right there, and you'll be able to see when. We'll put a little countdown next to each one so you can see when it is possible to unstake. We'll also put your earnings there. So that is coming up. All right. All right. So next up, let's actually go over the TVL. So if you download this deck, I have linked the contracts so you can go look at them. But the core vest contract at this point has 12.2 million VTRUs locked in there. So what happens is when we issue a core NFT, it has to be funded. So for example, if you're issued a core NFT for 100 VTRU, and let's say 10 of those are unlocked. So when that core NFT is issued, we deposit 100 VTRU into the contract because that's what you owed, and we immediately drop 10 into your wallet because 10 are unlocked. So the 90 becomes the balance in the core vest that is locked and waiting there. So with the staking contract, so far we've got a 71,300 VTRU locked. So the total locked VTRU is 12.2 million. And let's do the math on that. So with the math on that, multiplying by $2.50, which is the current price on the airdrop app, it is $30.5 million. So that is amazing. Of course, we want it to be much more. And so we are going to focus on increasing the value of our entire business and therefore increasing the value of VTRU. Also, as more users come in, we will incentivize them to stake so that we can increase our TVL. All right, next up, let's talk about VTRU. So I know this is a topic that is very important for everyone, and I see this again and again and again and again. So let's talk about it a little bit. So first of all, VTRU is the native coin of Vitruveo, right? So just like Ethereum has ETH, Bitcoin has BTC, Solana has Sol, VTRU is our native coin. Now, Vitruveo is a rebasing protocol. What that means is that the VTRU supply is going to grow dynamically over time based upon some rules in the protocol. And because of this rebasing feature, it is not possible for VTRU to itself be listed on any centralized exchange. So what we've done is we've created wrapped VTRU. So wrapped VTRU is not a coin, it's a token. And it represents one for one a VTRU. So the wrapped VTRU is what is going to be used for exchange listings. So whenever someone talks about listing VTRU, it's not about listing VTRU, it's about listing wrapped VTRU. So I just want to make that very, very clear. VTRU cannot be listed on centralized exchanges unless they are willing to do a lot of work to retool how their exchange software can interact with rebasing, and no one wants to do that. The last time we talked to an exchange, they said it would take them between 3 to 6 months to implement that, and no one wants to do that. All right, so now that you have that background, let's look at what we are facing here. So the number one question, right? The number one question I see all the time in Discord, especially from people who are just popping into the community right now and have been absent for a while, is when will wrapped VTRU be listed on a CEX? It's a really, really, really good question, and I want to answer it. But first, a sip of chai. All right. So what is the answer to that? Well, when is the wrong question. If you're asking that question about wrapped VTRU, it is entirely the wrong question. Let me tell you a better question to ask. What are the conditions required for wrapped VTRU to have a very successful listing? Look, it's plain as day to anybody. if you really want to just list a coin on an arbitrary exchange, you can do it anytime, right? But that's not going to guarantee you a successful listing. You don't know what's going to happen. When you are going to do a listing, you want to predict the outcome and at least make sure that you've done everything you can for that listing to be successful. So when is the wrong question? I like to use the analogy of like a lot of us in our lifetime will be hopefully fortunate enough to be thinking about buying a home, right? You don't say when are you going to buy the home. You don't pick a date. You look at all the criteria that you have to meet in order to buy the home. You have to have a down payment. You have to have approval by a bank. You have to find a home that you like. It has to be available. The market conditions are should be good so that the price is not too high. There's all these things, right? So listing a coin is not that different. You don't think about, oh, I want to list this coin on May 15th. You don't do that. That would be ridiculous by any measure, right? You have to look at what are the conditions. And so today what I'm going to do is give you the definitive kind of conditions that are required. And when those conditions are met, that's when the coin will be listed. So let's look at the conditions. All right. So we have 8 conditions here. There's more, but these 8 are the top and most important ones. The first one is you got to have a thriving community. Green check mark there. We got that. You got to have your tokenomics in order. Green check mark. We got those. You got to have a secure blockchain. Green check mark again. We got those. You got to have regulatory compliance. Green check. We have got a corporate entity set up in the British Virgin Islands. It's all set. We are complying with all laws. Next, you got to have a good vision, a great plan, and a great team. Green check there also. We've got all of those in place. You should have a momentum and traction. You can't approach a listing without a lot of traction and momentum. You got to have lots and lots of users. You got to have apps launched. You got to have people using the blockchain. You got to have lots of transactions, etc. We are working on that. You can see what's going on. Like I just talked about Studio, about thousands of artists coming on board. We launched the airdrop. We are seeing thousands of new users coming on board. We've got the Honcho marketplace coming up here in a week's time. We've got about a dozen PFP projects lined up to launch on our platform. So we've got a lot of momentum. But we are still working on getting traction. So our user growth strategy with the airdrop campaign is designed to address this very box here. We need momentum and traction in order to have a successful listing. Next, liquidity capital. So we've been working on that for a while. So we have a very successful booster campaign. We have other individual investors lined up, but those other individual investors are also looking at that box there with momentum and traction before they fully commit. So in order for us to really get to the point where we have the right liquidity capital in order to make a successful listing, we have to do these things. And last but not the least, we don't want to just list it on any exchange. We want it to be on the best exchanges. So those are tier 1 exchanges. So that means we have to get approval on those exchanges. And then we have to go through the process of whatever rules that the exchange has that we need to follow. We learned from our VTRU listing on MEXC that as a protocol, the set of expectations you have to meet are very different than just listing a token. So if you had an ERC20 compatible token to list it on exchange, no big deal. It's easy. But because we are a protocol, we have to have them stand up a node in their data center. They have to do tests. We have to comply with whatever security requirements they have, etc. So we have to do all those things with a tier 1 exchange. So you can see that those 3 boxes on the bottom have an hourglass next to it because there are no green checks there. So my answer to when Wrap VTRU will be listed on a SEX is always going to be 8 green checks. That's what we are looking for. When we have those 8 green checks, we'll have the listing. Until then, we can't do it. So it's really that simple and that elementary. So could this happen very fast? Yes. Could this take a longer time? I hope not. Our goal is to get there as quickly as possible, but you can project what it's going to take to get there, right? Like we can't get momentum and traction overnight. It takes some time. We are getting there. We worked very hard on it, and now our investment in time and resources is paying off. We are seeing an influx of new users into our ecosystem. We are seeing apps being used, etc. So all of this is happening. So this, folks, is the answer to the question. And I think from now onwards, in Discord, whenever anyone asks the questions, the answer is very simple: 8 green checks. That's it. All right. Next up, I want to talk about the business model. So it's been about 7 months since we've started working on this particular business model. We've learned quite a bit. So now what Vitruveo is a very fast growing business. It's super fast. We are learning new things on a very regular basis. And what we need to do, and we are very cognizant of as we lead this project, is that we have to evolve for maximum success, right? We are learning things. We are shaping the business. We now know things that we didn't know 3 months ago or 6 months ago. So what we have here is really one Vitruveo blockchain project with 3 clear business units. The first one is the foundational business unit, which is the Vitruveo protocol, right? So this is the core engine, the core protocol, and everything that goes with it: the coins, the tokens, exchange listings, and things like that. The other business units are the Web3 emergent creators. So that's our artist business that we've been talking about for a while. So this is where we want to get that 84% of artists who are not yet in the ecosystem into Web3. This is where we want to get the music, the movies, the writers, all of those folks onto Vitruveo as a blockchain for creators. We also have the other category of creators, which are the Web3 native creators, who we affectionately call DGens, right? So these are all the PFP projects, the gaming projects, etc., that are on Web3. So effectively, Vitruveo is 3 business units, with the protocol being the foundation of it. So what are the elements of these 3 business units? Well, let's start with the protocol. So we've got the blockchain. Of course, we've got one exchange right now, but there's going to be many more. And there's also a decentralized exchange. And then we have dApps. So we've got VTRU Scope, we've got Explorer, we've got lots of other dApps that we are planning also that are related directly to the protocol. We have SDKs, software development kits. So most of what we are doing right now is compatible with Ethereum. So it's pretty easy to have people use the Ethereum specific toolkits like Hardhat or Truffle and things like that. But over time, we'll be building our own also. And then, of course, we have the crypto ecosystem. So as a protocol, we are full-fledged citizens of the crypto ecosystem. We will go to conferences. We will talk about our protocol. We will integrate as many tools and wallets as possible into our protocol. So that's the foundational element. Now let's look at the Web3 emergent creators. What do we have there? Well, we already talked today about VTRU Suite. So we've got that. In addition, we are going to be doing a lot of artist engagement and outreach on a regular basis. We do that now all the time. We have workshops regularly online. We have spaces. We have other events. And we'll continue to do that. We are also engaging the overall art ecosystem worldwide. So whether it's museums, galleries, art foundations, art conferences, etc. So we are going to be a big part of all of those. And finally, as we were talking about earlier with events like in New York, IRL events are going to be a big part of this business unit. The next business unit is the Web3 native creators. So what's going on there? Well, we'll have the Honcho marketplace. So this is the marketplace that we will be launching later this month. As early as next week, you might see a beta of it. And then the PFP-centric projects. So we have a lot of those lined up. and really exciting ones. I've been looking at the art on some of these, and they're just mind-blowing and amazing, and really excited to have these projects here. We also have gaming-related projects. So there are lots of different Web3 games, and we intend to actually capitalize on the fact that we have a rebasing protocol to introduce new and interesting games. And finally, last but not least, we also have big brands that we want to bring on here that are Web3 centric. So bring those projects on here, not only the ones that are already there, but also offline brands that want to create a presence in Web3. We want to incentivize them to be on Vitruveo. So those are the sort of business units we have going. And now that we have these insights, like these insights were not as clear today previously as they are clear today, because we actually had to wade into this. We had to go dive into it and work on it. And now this structure is very clear, and that's how we are trying to run the business. So what does that mean for the operations of this business? Well, the way we are looking at these business units is that the protocol is run and managed by the DAO. So we've got a good structure for that. The emergent creators unit is run by Dreamers, which is the current team. We are working with artists led by Fer, and that team will grow. There's a good community of volunteers that is growing around it. So we'll run it and manage that business unit that way. The native creators, Web3 native creators business is going to be run by ePlace. So when I went to Melbourne recently, I met with them, and they're doing some amazing work and have been pretty instrumental in getting this airdrop going. So a lot of what you see when it comes to Web3 native projects on Vitruveo is going to be driven, steered, and managed by ePlace. Super exciting. But as you can see, we've got some clarity and some focus now on how we are going to make Vitruveo one of the most successful blockchains out there. We intend to grow and scale this as massively as possible. And to do that, we have to have clarity of focus. So we are the blockchain of creators. We are not deviating from that. But what we are doing is being very specific about how we are going to approach success. So I certainly am very excited about this model, because it's clear to me about what we have to do, who's going to do it, and when they're going to do it. All right. So now, in order to approach this and to have success, we also need to make sure that the business is properly capitalized and funds are allocated correctly. So as a result, what we're going to do is basically have different funds through which we manage the business. So the emergent fund will be used for the dreamers. The native fund will be used for the Web3 native creators unit of the business. For the protocol itself, we have a protocol fund which will be used to fund the engineering efforts and all the dApps, the SDKs, and all those things that I showed you on the prior slide. But along with that protocol also comes a very important fund, is setting aside liquidity and market making funds for the launch of our Wrap VTRU coin and the continued success of our VTRU token on multiple exchanges. As I said, we are not gonna sit back with just one exchange. We want to be there on multiple exchanges. So that's kind of the story. It is an evolving story. I wanted to kind of present this to you today to have you see our approach to the business, how we are thinking about it. It's not all finalized yet. It's not all, to the point where we have detailed budgets and things like that, but we are getting there, and we are steering the ship in the right direction to success. All right. So now I'll come to the last and the most important part, I think. Every week we have a new poet that you can download, so that when the season is done, you can have a complete series of poets, and then we'll be eligible for some awards. So please visit this QR code or the link and claim your poet today. If you are seeing this on video later, the poet is only active for 24 hours. So you need to get it then. All right, so that was the download news for today. A lot of information for you to unpack, but happy to share this information with you. Zach, come on board. Let's talk about, let's get some questions and go from there.
What's up? I'm back.
All right. Cool. So, what do you think about some of the information I shared, Zach?
It's a lot. I mean, I like the slide right here. It kind of shows you how everything is going to be divvied up, because we do have two specifically different businesses from a general purpose blockchain side, but then also like the suite that we're building. So it's good to put it into a visual.
Yep. All right. Well, we have a great audience on our live today. We have 570 folks. That's great.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah. All right. Let's go through and look at some of these questions here now. Why are collector credits in dollars and not in bit? Okay, here we go. Why are collector credits in dollars and not in withdraw? This $1 million plus will be cashed in and tank the price. Actually, that is not true. The collector credits are in dollars because that is the unit of currency we use for all art sales on Vitruveo, because we are catering to a Web2 audience as buyers. So we want to make sure that they are it's as frictionless of an experience as possible. And on the back end, we convert that to VTRU. All the collector credits are not active simultaneously. As I should have repeated today, I mentioned last week that they are all going to have a variable start date between now and I believe it was August. Yeah, so they will not all be active right away. And we will continue to incentivize artists who will be the recipients of the VTRU associated with that to stake and stake their VTRU. So not everyone will want to cash it out immediately, and we are well aware of that. So you have to assume that when we make some of these decisions, that we've thought through the implications of it, and the implications of free coins, free floating coins on the market are something that's probably number one, in our decision making there. So I'm not worried about it. All right, and Navy Mustang says 20K was withdrawn, not 10K. You know what? You might be right about that. I will look it up and post the update on it. I believe it was 10K. Oh, you know what? I know exactly what you're talking about. It was not 20K. We had an anomaly on our Gnosis safe. It was very interesting. We attempted to withdraw 10,000, but the payment was made to the Gnosis safe itself. It was essentially a loop, so no funds actually left. The net impact was zero. So it was in fact 10,000 that was withdrawn, and you can verify that by looking at all the on-chain transactions. All right, let's go through and look at.
A funny one that came through was someone said, "Did this start an hour early because of daylight savings time?"
Ah, yes, yeah.
So yes, it did.
All right, so here's a question. On the airdrop staking, just below the stake my VTRU button, it says that all staked VTRU cannot be unstaked. Does that mean it's locked forever? Could you clarify? Of course not. It's not locked forever. All that means is you can't just unstake it at will. You've locked it for a certain period of time, and it is locked for that period of time. After that period of time has elapsed, you can unstake it. No problem at all. Yeah, we definitely don't want to take your VTRU and keep it forever. That would not get many people excited. All right, it says here, I can't stake VTRU because I don't have a desktop. When will mobile be available? My ETA for that is probably Monday or Tuesday next week. We are working very fast on getting that going. In fact, it's already working very well on Android. It's just on iPhone that is a bit finicky. So we want to make sure that it's working properly. So, and I saw some posts from people who said, switch your browser to desktop mode and try it and mobile. And if that works for you, that's great. There's actually nothing special we are doing on mobile. We've already got the responsive part done. It's just the wallet integration is not perfect and not seamless. And we want to make sure that it's nice and seamless. So that's that. Let's see. I'm not seeing too many other questions here. But artists, if you have any questions, just jump right in. All right, so here's a question. How and when can we change our VTRU OG Perks wallet to a new address? Well, those funds have been distributed. They're unlocked. They are in your wallet. You can transfer them wherever you want. So that's really all there's to it. You should be able to transfer those funds. You're talking about perks. I gotta go back and remember what perks there are. So I think the question then will become, if you transfer, what happens to the perks? I don't have a good answer for that right now, but I will make a note and look into this. But as far as the funds go, you're free to move them wherever you want. Sorry, I have to make a note there. All right. Let's see. Biz says, smash the like button. Yes, please do smash the like button. I like that. That's good. All right. Kelly says, hi. Hi, Kelly. All right. Dadbot Veteran says no red. So I thought this would pass off as red. But apparently it wasn't obviously red. So, but I did think about it. I always do think about it. And next week I'll be right back with either a red hat or a red shirt. Not seeing too many other questions, which is good. All right, I'm not seeing any other big questions, so I guess okay, here we go. This Gus. First of all, Gus, thank you once again. I always think of you when I drink my chai. Will there be a way of staking VTRU that is vested? Ooh, that's interesting. I don't know yet. This is the first time I've given any thought to that. So we'll put that on our list of to-dos. Stake, vested. Well, I guess it would be unvested VTRU, because your vested VTRU you would be grabbing anyway. So thanks for that question, Gus. I will research it and I will post an answer in probably minor updates. So here's a question. When does revenue start for booster holders? So that would start after the Genesis. So the Genesis artists have each committed to sell their artwork for $150 each. So that once that's done, then the ones that come after it are open market. And so we would consider that inbound revenue. Whether we are ready yet to be able to have that revenue be claimable right away is a different matter, because we got to have the right tooling and applications and all that for it. So that revenue will just accumulate in a contract until we can make that happen. So I'm going to say probably within 90 days from now, approximately. But please don't hold me to it, because there's a lot of complexity to making that revenue stream work. So let's do 90 to 120 days. All right, give myself a little bit of extra room for that. But the important thing is, when we do have the tools in place, any accumulated revenue, you'll be able to grab all that right away. So it's not like you're going to lose any revenue. It's just it might be delayed until we get everything done and in place. All right. So Daniel asks, when should we be getting the 100 VTRU for super early bird? All right. So with the booster and the booster roundup and all of that all closed, priority right now is, first and foremost, I need to get VTRU scope out with the boost feature. So that will be done, as I said, this weekend. Once that's done, then we will start focusing on the airdrops for super early birds and all of that. So that's kind of a out of band thing. It's a separate thing. So we'll take care of that also early next week. Is there a table of what airdrop points will translate into? Not yet. That is coming soon. The conversion will also depend on the overall table, right? So your points are pro rata, so they are a portion of what everyone's points are. So the more points you have, the more of whatever rewards we are going to have there will be present for you. So there are tokens. We've already introduced 3 of them, and more are coming. There are more rewards also coming. So your goal should be to get as many points as possible, because it is proportionate to your points in the overall table and not just the exact points you have. So an easy way to do that is to we'll have a total of this, is add up all the points, right? And you divide your points by all the points, and that gives you your percentage ownership of the overall drop. All right. So Monica says, can we transfer a booster to boost another account, please? All right. So it's actually not necessary for you to transfer a booster, because the way the boost process works is like this. Step 1, you go and select as many boosters as you want. So if you have a few in your account, you just go check, 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 check. And then you select an address. It can be any address. It doesn't matter if they have a nexus. It doesn't matter if they are empty, have no wVTRU, etc. And you hit boost. When you hit boost, all the booster wVTRU in all those boosters is going to be deposited into that account, right? And now there are perks associated with the booster. That's where the app checks if that account has a Nexus NFT or not, because the perks, etc., have to be held by a core NFT. If it has a Nexus NFT, then we will grant all the perks and all those rights to that Nexus NFT. If it doesn't have a Nexus NFT, we're going to drop a Maxim NFT into that account and give all those perks, etc., to that Maxim NFT. So what you're left with then is an art NFT. Your booster has now been boosted. It can no longer be used. Well, not just one, as many as you selected. They all become ordinary art NFTs. So that's essentially the workflow. There's one more step. You won't even notice that happening, but it will eventually happen, is that when we selected these booster artists, we didn't have studio, we didn't have the consignment process, we didn't have the licensing model, any of that, right? So these booster art NFTs, once the booster has been boosted, you have that art NFT, doesn't fit into our consignment model, etc. So what will happen is, once these 21 artists consign the artwork, and Fer is working with them to get that done, we'll do a swap in your account. We'll swap out that booster NFT for what we would call a Vitruveo art NFT. And the reason for doing that is because when you want to sell that booster art NFT, and I'm presuming you will want to, a lot of people I see 20, 30 booster NFTs, and these are very valuable artworks, right? So if you have duplicates or you want to sell those, there's going to be a marketplace where you can do that. So when you do sell them, it needs to conform to the Vitruveo store model and all of that kind of stuff. And also, the artist needs to get paid for secondary sale, because they essentially donated their artwork for the booster, but we committed to them that secondary royalties would be available to them. So that's a lot of complexity for us. It's nothing at all for the booster owner. You will just notice that your booster has been swapped, and you won't even be able to tell. Actually, it'll just happen organically. So anyway, you can boost from any account to any account. So there's not really a need to transfer a booster is the point. All right. Is Honcho Marketplace coming soon? Yes, as I said, you'll be probably seeing it as early as next week, maybe a little longer, but definitely in the month of March. Let's see. Lighty Shot asks, can we consign 2 artworks in the alpha version or just the one we applied for Genesis drop? Yeah, so right now, the studio application is limited to 1 artwork. And that's really because it was designed for the Genesis thing, but that limitation will go away very soon. We just have to create a UI to allow you to upload and manage more than one. So that is work in progress. Probably by the time all the Genesis artists artworks are done and we have search going, we'll also have that feature in place. But I wouldn't expect it at least for the next couple of weeks because our priority is to work on VTRU search and get all these artists onboarded. So that is the story on that. Let's see. All right, so these downloads are packed full of information. Please make them available on the site in a way that one can search by keywords and get to specific information. So I'm trying to watch so many hours. Actually, our marketing team's been doing a great job with that, where they've been transcribing these and extracting information from them and putting them into Medium articles, etc. So I believe they are mostly caught up now. But yeah, that is good. That is a good idea, and we are actually wanting to do that also because yeah, we don't expect everyone to sit and watch hours of video in order to get this information. Kelly Productions asks, what is your optimistic estimation on the number of new users that can become from the airdrop campaign? So Kelly, I think in terms of number of zeros, and I can tell you that 5 zeros is my minimum, but I would prefer 6 zeros. So that's kind of where we are going. So let's see how it goes. It is an interesting time in the crypto world right now. Things are moving up. Let's see where it leads us. But yeah, I like to think in hundreds of thousands of users, but would be happy with when we get to millions. All right. I think. All right. So here's a question: would those who bought OTC greater than $500 after the boosters closed also be eligible for a booster for each wire? So Ron, the plan is actually pretty simple. If you purchased $500 or more on OTC before we closed down the OTC site, which was when the airdrop was launched, you probably are getting a booster airdrop. We basically went starting from that time backwards, and everyone who had a 500 or more transaction up to our limit of 84 boosters is getting a booster airdropped. So it's not a question of whether you got it when the boosters closed or not. It's more a question of, were you within that 84 transactions counting backwards from the time of the airdrop launch? I think we've run out of questions here. Oh, we got a follow-up here from Nathan B. Can we still move boosters to a different wallet if needed, like bought it on a warm wallet or wallet is compromised? Yeah. You can do that too. Let's see. Without a marketplace, you'll need a wallet to support that, or you'll have to go to the Explorer and use the transfer feature. Let me make a note of that and see if we can make it easier to transfer these NFTs. Because ultimately the marketplace will have that capability, but until then we have to provide you some facility to do that. All right, made a note of that, and we'll look at that also. Crypto Pride, boom. Hey, Crypto Pride, I need to talk to you some more about getting this stream on your channel. So I'll work with you on that. Really want your audience to be able to get that. So thank you for offering, and I will communicate with you and get that done. So here's a question about when USDC integration. I can't answer the second part of your question, when withdraw second sex right now. We're working on that. But the first one, both Zach and I have been working with a team, and we'll talk about that next week. We'll actually have a good demo and all of that there. But they are already working on the USDC integration, and we expect to. I think the timeline we got was 3 weeks, and it's now a week in. So I would say within 2 weeks. So within 2 weeks, we should have, and we haven't decided on the symbol yet, but my guess is it'll be like VUSDC or something like that. But it'll be a variant of USDC on Vitruveo, and when we do that, we'll be able to create DEX pairs and things like that with that. Also,
V-Bucks or V-Dollars.
Yeah. So the basic mechanism on how that works is it's really something that Circle created, and it's a protocol. But what you do is you burn your USDC on one chain, and it shows up on another chain, and then you burn it on that chain and go back to the other chain, and it shows up back there again. So this is how it's going to work. So you would essentially deposit USDC on Ethereum, because that's the network we are targeting. That's the protocol we are targeting to start off with, at least. And then that shows up in your wallet on Vitruveo as VUSDC. And that's fully backed by Circle and all of that. And it's a legitimate stable coin. And you use that just like a stable coin. And when you either trade with other tokens, or when you want to exit, you would send it back to Ethereum, and then it would be regular USDC there. Now, that's only for a period of time. Once we achieve a substantial enough volume, then a Circle will acquire the contract, and then it'll become native USDC on Vitruveo. And we look to get that done by the end of the year. Navy Mustang, you just need to spend more time analyzing that. I can tell you with 100% certainty that the transactions didn't go through. Yeah, and as Vitruveo reports, it was a loop, so nothing happened there. What is the ETA to be able to purchase the Genesis NFTs with a credit card? So we won't do that on the Genesis NFTs, but we will do that for the NFTs that come after it. So I don't have a good ETA on that. We actually have a working model. We have it working with Stripe, but the question is to make sure that we can get all the approvals in place, because Stripe is known for sort of letting you go through with it, but then arbitrarily blocking you at that point, and we don't want that. So we want to make sure that we have all the I's dotted and all the T's crossed to have proper approval on that. And it may end up not being Stripe. It may end up being some other gateway, because there's many other mechanisms available now. All right, that is. I've exhausted all the questions. I'm not seeing new ones. So I'm seeing some questions that I've already answered. All right, I think that is it, folks. We are done with today's download. Lots of good questions. Thank you for being here. And again, a hearty welcome to all the new dreamers. I believe there's about 1,500 of you joining the community. Very soon, I'll be announcing about how we are going to do the DaVinci vote, because that is a pending item, and we were waiting to do this airdrop, so the artists could also vote on those projects. But we are putting together a simple voting page where you will use your your core NFT to actually do the vote. So that's coming up. So look forward to that. And I believe that's it. But yes, Gus, another last sip of chai, another sip of chai. And with that, I'm out. Have a great weekend, everyone, and catch you online. See ya. Bye-bye.
See you guys.